He drew the gun like it made him a man. Shaky hands. Cheap belt. My daughter Reese didn't even flinch. She stood there, calm, eyes locked on his. Karen stood behind him, smirking. Her velvet tracksuit and clipboard practically dared someone to challenge her HOA reign. This was her show. And we were her audience. Reese slowly raised her hands. You sure about this? She asked. The man's lip twitched. His finger hovered near the trigger. Karen whispered, do it? She's trespassing. Trespassing? I yelled from the porch. That's my daughter. She's walking to my door. Karen rolled her eyes. On HOA land, Mr. Kessler. We control the sidewalks. Before we continue, please drop a like and comment below with your country and what time it is right now where you're watching. Whether it's sunrise in Australia, midnight in New York, afternoon in Canada, or evening in France, I want to know. Don't just sit back, tell me where in the world you are. Now, let's dive into the story. Then it happened. Reese spun. One swift motion disarmed him, flipped him to the pavement, and pinned him. His weapon skidded to the grass. Karen gasped like a popped balloon. Reese pulled her badge. Special Agent Reese Kessler. FBI Tactical Command. Silence followed. A hawk screeched overhead. The guard whimpered. Karen's face turned eggshell white. I stepped forward, heart racing. You just made a huge mistake, Karen. She blinked. You can't do this. Reese smirked. Lady, you have no idea what I can do. The HOA crowd watched. Phones out. Doors cracked. Whispers floated like smoke. Karen shook her head, still refusing reality. You'll regret this, she hissed. Reese leaned closer to Karen. No, you will. Starting now. The gun incident wasn't the beginning. It was the match. The fuel had been pouring for months. And Karen? She'd lit the fuse herself. All we had to do was let it burn. This wasn't just revenge. This was justice with purpose. And Reese had a plan. When I moved to Ravenfield Court, it looked like paradise. Redstone sidewalks. Magnolia trees. Quiet neighborhood on Zillow. Turns out quiet meant rule-controlled. And Karen wrote the rules. Karen Nettle. HOA president. 4-time widow. Claims she's old Georgia money, but her accent's more retail manager than Southern Belle. Runs the HOA like a crime syndicate. First week, she fined me for leaving my grill uncovered. Second week, Reese visited and parked diagonally. A letter followed. Corrective action advised. It was ridiculous, like living in a sitcom. Reese laughed it off. Bet she's got cameras in bird feeders. She wasn't wrong. By month 2, we spotted 3 hidden cams on the lamppost near my yard. I tried to be diplomatic. Went to an HOA meeting. Karen shut me down mid-sentence. We value silence and symmetry here. Like speaking up was graffiti. Reese, recently retired from active field ops, offered to help me install security. It's not paranoia if someone's watching. She was always 2 steps ahead. Karen grew agitated with Reese's presence. Called her aggressive. Told neighbors my daughter was ex-military with issues. HOA notices got uglier. $100 for leaving tools on porch overnight. Still, we stayed quiet. Until one day, Reese caught HOA security snooping near her car. Just patrol, he shrugged. But he left fast when she flashed her badge. That night, Reese said, Dad, Karen's not just bossy. She's dangerous. She's used to nobody pushing back. That ends now. Her voice was ice cold and firm. I didn't realize then, Reese wasn't just visiting. She was assessing. Watching. Planning. Karen had declared war on the wrong family. And Reese never backed down. We found it tucked in our mailbox, no return address. Just one printed sheet, you're not welcome. Leave Ravenfield before something unfortunate happens. And unfortunate was read. I held it up, disgusted. She's escalating. Reese snapped a picture, gloved her hands, and slid the letter into a Ziploc. I'll send this to forensics. See what sticks. Karen denied it all, naturally. We don't engage in threats, Mr. Kessler, she said in her sickly sweet voice. But her eyes darted to Reese like daggers. Then came the drone. Small, black, hovering near our backyard. Reese caught it on camera, tracked it to Karen's address using directional antenna gear. Her training made it look easy. This isn't neighborhood drama anymore, Reese muttered. It's targeted harassment. I nodded, swallowing guilt. I brought her here for peace. Instead, I placed her back in the field. But Reese was calm. Fear makes tyrants sloppy, she said. We'll use that. She requested files through bureau access, Karen's property records, HOA incorporation forms, all of it. Turns out, Ravenfield HOA wasn't legal. It hadn't been re-registered in 5 years. Karen was collecting dues and issuing fines without any authority. It was a gold mine of fraud. Reese assembled the case like a puzzle. She's broken local and federal law, she explained. Wire fraud. False representation. Intimidation. The walls around Karen's kingdom were cracking. That's when the security guy came back. This time, armed. Standing in my front yard, waiting. And everything we'd endured came crashing to this one moment. After the gun incident, Karen vanished for 2 days. No meetings. No patrols. Too quiet. Reese knew that silence always meant planning, not surrender. Something was coming. Meanwhile, Reese's bureau contact confirmed Karen's HOA funds were rerouted through a shell company in Nevada. She's laundering neighborhood fines, Reese said, on top of impersonating a legal board. We needed a witness. So Reese visited Mr. Trenton, a former HOA treasurer. He answered the door whispering, eyes wide. You have no idea what she's capable of, he warned. He agreed to help. Shared files. Emails. Photos. Everything from Karen's deleted HOA Facebook group. She deletes threats, bans complaints, and fines anyone she doesn't like, he said. Reese sent it all to her bureau case team. We have a timeline, motive, and criminal intent. One more thing, we need a confession. Or a sting. That night, we held a fake garage sale. Signs up. Balloons out. Karen showed up, nose high, clipboard in hand. This sale is unauthorized, she hissed. Reese baited her. What are you gonna do? Find me again with your expired HOA? Karen snapped. I can do whatever I want, you little thug. Phones were rolling. Neighbors recording. Karen kept going. This is my neighborhood. I built this. I made the rules. Reese smiled. You just confessed. In front of 12 cameras. Karen froze. Realized it too late. Her kingdom crumbled in 10 seconds. But Reese wasn't done yet. I've filed charges. We're doing this the legal way. Karen tried to grab the phone from my hand. Reese blocked her, eyes steady. Try that again, and you'll be in cuffs before dinner. At sunrise, unmarked black SUVs rolled into Ravenfield. 4 federal agents in suits stepped out, badges gleaming. Karen was watering her petunias when they walked up. Karen Nettle? One asked. She turned, smiled, then stiffened. Yes, she said slowly. You're under investigation for impersonating a government body and financial fraud, the lead agent said. She laughed. This is harassment. The agents didn't flinch. Reese stepped forward. You pointed a gun at a federal agent. You ran an illegal HOA. You're finished. Karen's face drained. I want my lawyer, she screamed. You'll all regret this. Cameras were everywhere, neighbors documenting justice after years of quiet misery. They entered her house. Confiscated hard drives, HOA files, even bank statements. Reese read her rights. Karen cried. This is my street. My rules, she sobbed. No, ma'am, the agent said. This is America. And your HOA expired 5 years ago. Even the trees seemed to breathe easier. The grip Karen had? Gone. News vans arrived within an hour. Channel 11 interviewed Barb from across the street. She made us live in fear, Barb said. But the Kesslers freed us. Karen's security guy? He turned informant. She paid me cash under the table, he admitted. Said we had to protect the sanctity of Ravenfield. I didn't know she was lying. The neighborhood voted to dissolve the HOA. People hugged on driveways. Kids played chalk games again. And me? I stood there next to my daughter, proud. The calm didn't last. A week later, I found our mailbox smashed again. Inside, a photo of Reese leaving the courthouse. A sticky note attached, "One badge can't save her." I trembled. But Reese didn't. "They're testing boundaries," she said, trying to scare me off. "Won't work." She handed the photo to her contact. "Let's trace it." Fingerprints led to a name, Daryl Keene. Karen's nephew. Ex-military, dishonorably discharged. Lives 2 towns over. Had access to Karen's finances and secrets. Reese's team marked him as a threat. We reinforced the house. Camera system. Motion detectors. Even a pressure mat under the porch. "I've handled worse," Reese said. "But this is personal now." That night we caught him on camera, sneaking near the backyard gate. He didn't see the FBI drone hovering above him. Reese smiled watching the live feed. Daryl was arrested 2 hours later with a loaded weapon in his trunk. Claimed he just wanted to scare the feds. The judge didn't buy it. Karen's lawyer tried to distance her from him. But too late. Emails linked them. "Make her sweat," Karen had written. "She thinks she's above the law." That line sealed the case. With new charges stacked high, Karen was denied bail. Her empire crumbled. Reese just kept sipping her tea, calm as ever. Ravenfield changed. Slowly at first. Neighbors met without Karen's permission. Shared stories. Started planting unapproved flower colors. Even put up lawn gnomes, which she'd once banned. Barb hosted a block party. First in 10 years. I brought ribs. Reese brought lemonade. Even the Pearson boys brought fireworks. It felt like freedom. During the toast, Barb raised her cup. "To the Kesslers. For showing us that justice doesn't knock, it kicks the door in." Everyone clapped. Reese smiled, finally at ease. The town council reached out, asking Reese to speak about community rights. She declined. "I'm not a politician. I'm just my dad's daughter, and I hate bullies." Karen's properties were auctioned. HOA assets dissolved. The court assigned damages to be repaid to each neighbor fined under illegal rules. Checks started arriving by fall. I got $4,620. "Buy yourself a better smoker," Reese teased. "Or maybe a mailbox made of titanium." I laughed harder than I had in months. Reese bought Barb a new mailbox too. "One with cameras," she joked. "In case Karen writes from prison." We all knew she probably would. Still, something in the air shifted. Peace was possible now. And everyone knew who made it happen. Not with fists, but with facts. With guts. With heart. A thick envelope arrived one rainy morning. No return address. Inside, a letter written in looping cursive. It was from Karen. And it dripped with venom. "Your daughter destroyed my life," she wrote. "But I'll rebuild. You can't keep a queen down." She signed it President of the True Ravenfield Society. Reese raised an eyebrow. "She's starting a prison club?" she joked. But I saw the seriousness behind her eyes. Karen still had claws, even behind bars. The letter included a flyer, plans for a book, a podcast, maybe a justice movement. All fiction. All warped. But dangerous to the wrong ears. Reese forwarded it to the Bureau's legal team. "She's trying to manipulate public opinion. But we have every receipt. Let her try." Meanwhile, neighbors sent Karen their own letters, statements of what she stole, how she hurt them. Barb even included a photo of her new gnome army. Karen's story wasn't over. But ours? We had reclaimed it. With each neighbor who painted their door purple, flew unapproved flags, or laughed too loudly, we'd won. Karen's threats didn't scare us now. They just reminded us how far we'd come. "Fear doesn't live here anymore," Reese said. "Only freedom." That night, we burned the letter in the fire pit. Watched the smoke rise into the air. Karen's words turned to ash. Our home stood tall. The street voted to rename itself. Ravenfield Court became Valorview. A symbol. A fresh start. The sign unveiling was emotional. Kids clapped, veterans saluted, tears flowed. Reese gave a short speech. "This isn't just about defeating one person. It's about remembering what happens when nobody stands up. We stood. And we'll keep standing." Barb took over as community chair, not a president. No more rulers. Just neighbors, she said. Her first decree? Free ice cream Fridays at the park. People painted mailboxes however they liked. Held gardening contests. Hosted movie nights. Valorview wasn't quiet anymore. It was alive, blooming with laughter and courage. News outlets returned. Documentaries were made. FBI agent topples itchy tyrant made headlines. But Reese refused the spotlight. I didn't do this alone, she told them. I stood by her, proud. This place had become more than a retirement spot. It was a legacy. A home forged through fire and rebuilt by strength. Daryl pled guilty. Karen's sentence extended. And Reese? She returned to full-time work, leading a task force for HOA abuse across the country. But she always came back here. Valorview was her anchor. And me? I became the old guy grilling ribs that the kids called sir, but not too seriously. Last Saturday, I caught a man staring at Reese from across the park. Tall, wiry, twitchy. I approached. He bolted. But Reese was faster. Took him down in seconds. Turns out, he was a private investigator hired by one of Karen's prison pen pals. Trying to dig dirt on your daughter, he muttered. Thought she was dangerous. Reese laughed. She is. But not the way you think. She handed him over to local police, then texted her bureau team. Another one for the file, she said. We sat by the fire that night. Just us. I asked her, you ever get tired of being the strong one? She stared at the flames. Sometimes. But never enough to quit. I squeezed her shoulder. You changed everything here. Not with revenge, but with justice. She looked at me and smiled. Same things sometimes. As the fire crackled, kids laughed down the street. The sound of freedom. The sound of a community unchained. Reese sipped her tea and exhaled softly. Karen was gone. Her lies exposed. Her empire dismantled. But the lesson remained, bullies grow where silence thrives. And brave people like Reese? They end it. Valorview was safe. Because of her. Because of what she stood for. She wasn't just my daughter. She was a force. A shield. A storm wrapped in calm. And next time someone dares draw a weapon on her, they better pray she lets them walk away.